What's up everyone, Wolfman here, and welcome to another episode of MOC Monday Reviews. The video reviews where I show off my own creations, or MOCs as what they were called in the LEGO community. And today I am doing a review on my own rendition of the starship known as the Ghost. Which Ghost? The Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. I had gotten a loose model of this ship, and I decided to give it a much more needed upgrade, and I'm gonna admit it from the first model it actually does look a whole lot better. Now before I get into the review, my bit of a critical review anyways, just a quick reminder of the upcoming review on my Grand Fleet, which is coming up on November 26th as far as the upload. And it is going to consist of starships from different factions within the Star Wars universe, but I'm also going to be including the starfighters from my MOC Monday reviews that I have done since the start of the series. And I believe with that out of the way, and without any further ado, on to the review. And here it is. More like here she is, the Ghost from back. The ship that was first permanently featured in Star Wars Rebels, which went for about, what, 4 or 5 seasons? I want to say 5 seasons, correct me if I'm wrong. And this is my own rendition of the starship, and it may not, I did do a few differences, but from the original set that I got, or that I bought some time ago, or long ago, I don't know how long ago I did buy it, but it was definitely well worth the purchase. But as far as the designs, I really wasn't that impressed. Personally, kudos that they actually did the set, but it was, as far as design aesthetics, it was rather underwhelming. And well, I kind of like the original model I like the model from the animated series that the ship was prominently featured in. But I decided to do a little bit of a different take. I think for one, the angles here aren't exactly original. I think if I recall correctly, the front section of the starship itself, it did not have different. It did not come to these corners here and just kept going back that was just my own take, and let me just go ahead and show you the angle that I had done it, and yeah, you can get the gist. And it's not exact. I don't think it's exactly accurate to what it looked like in the show, and I did do a few changes, but there were a few changes that were definitely worth doing. And for starters, the turret up here, you absolutely cannot fit a minifigure in there. It's just the dome. It is solid. You can't exactly place a head in there as well, but it still has this 360-degree turn. The guns do go up and down, so I'd say that's the only real bonus out of that. And of course, the top here opens up. I purposely did that just in case I wanted to fit some figures in there as well. And the cockpit here also opens up so you can fit a pilot, and same with the nose turret, which also I was able to design to basically side out. Unfortunately, I did not put any guns on the underside because this is a gun turret, or the nose gun turret, so I did not do anything in that regard, but it can still hold minifigs in there, and basically in just this general area. And what else did I do? Oh, I did add in the boarding ramp from the bottom down here. It doesn't really fit a full minifigure, but it does. I think it kind of sends the message that this sucker is actually sizable, and it does have this feature which I'm actually quite proud that I was able to do. And one other thing this does have, I actually gave the sucker landing gear. Not too accurate to the original design or what was permanently featured, but you do have the nose landing gear, but you also got these 2 rear ones, and this is it gets a little finicky here, whoop, but they were designed to rotate backwards, and they're a little bit on the flimsy side, especially the rear ones. And you can actually see them from the back with them up, but the nose landing gear, I was able to design it to where it's actually just tucked away in the back, right back here. I don't know if you can see that. I apologize if you can't, but if you can, I guess you can, yeah, from this angle. So I purposely did that just so I can add a little more size to it and a little more accuracy to what it looks like on the show anyways. And I will admit there are a few other changes that I didn't really do exactly, like the rear here. I don't exactly recall the rear design of the Starship, but I left it open in this area just so it can be easily handled. And of course I did transfer the thrusters, all four of them, but honestly they're a little bit on the small side. If I could, I would redesign them just a bit so it can actually handle just so it could handle the sheer size of it. I mean, I've never been really good at accurately building or designing engines on any of my starships, and of course there is a saw to fit the Phantom, and I only got one version of it, which happens to be the Phantom 2 here, and it does fit in here quite snug, I believe, just like that. So I had full intentions of actually making sure that this sucker actually did fit in, and it fits in pretty good. So got that going as well. There is the double doors there that you can from the original set. Don't know if you can see that well enough, but there was a handful of original pieces from the set like that, like the sticker there that was from the original set. I did purposely put that in, and of course you got these markings here on both sides. This fun little sucker here. I made sure to keep that in the design of this as well. And I do believe I actually changed the plate here I actually did purposely transfer, but as far as the rest of this, I think I redesigned it entirely, but no, I didn't. I think it's most of these pieces are only a small portion of these pieces are from the original set, but most of it really isn't, and I was actually quite proud of how this thing turned out. It took me a while to figure out how wide I wanted it to be, or just the dimensions in general, because I've seen other mocks that other people have done of their own renditions of the Ghost, but those ones were a little too big, so this one I would say it would be in the middle. It's bigger than the first model, but it's smaller than other mocks that I have seen on the internet, and I'm actually quite pleased with how it looked. I mean, granted, some of the pieces I used were a little bit on the sloppy side, but I think it kind of gets the point across that this is the Ghost, which, just to get into a little bit of Star Wars lore, this sucker was classified as a VCX 100, permanently used by Harrison Dula, who was one of the leaders of the Spectres in Star Wars Rebels, and this is basically her ship. And one of the big, I would say one of the other features that this ship actually had, I apologize for my dog barking, one of the big features that the ship did have was a smaller shuttle that would fit back here, but it got destroyed at the hands of Ezra Bridger on accident, I think at the premiere of the 3rd season, hence why there was a second Phantom, and quite frankly I like the second Phantom more so than the original, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I could have easily wedged this sucker in here too, but it's not exactly accurate. I mean, this sucker is actually shorter in length, because if anyone who's seen the series, the section back here after the gun turret, or after the dorsal turret, was actually a little bit longer. But I wanted to make sure that this thing could actually handle the weight of the second starship, which would be the Phantom, so I actually brought it back on purpose, just so it can handle the weight, which I guess I might as well show off again. Excuse me. So this sucker actually can handle the weight, but if you haven't noticed, this sucker is actually at an angle. The nose gear in the front is actually a little bit lower, which actually works pretty well for me. And it was definitely well worth the build. I mean, I would be outright critical of the original design, but it was the first model. I mean, they've done other models of, say, the Millennium Falcon. They've improved over the years, but this was an original set that came. I don't know how long ago it first came out, but it was good enough for a first impression. But quite frankly, I prefer my personal model overall. I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to say anything more negative. I mean, it was a good first attempt. They did it with several other ships again. So I decided to do my own rendition of the Ghost. I mean, if anyone likes it, then feel free to leave a like and leave a comment. If you're critical of my own design, please let me know. I will probably do better in the future, possibly. So I can't really think of anything else to say on my rendition of The Ghost, so I would say that would be the review. So that was my review on The Ghost. Well, my mock version of The Ghost. And if you like that video, please feel free to leave a like down below and leave a comment. If you guys like the design, I like to hear it. If you don't like the design, then I like to hear that as well. I would like some constructive constructive criticism, I would say. If there was any other design features you would change on my rendition of The Ghost, please feel free to leave a comment. And if you're new here to this channel, or if you come across this channel by chance, and if you want to see more content like this, then come join the Wolfpack by hitting the red subscribe button down below and tune into my review on my Grand Fleet. And once again, if I didn't say it before, happy Halloween everyone. If you guys celebrate the holiday, because I personally don't really care too much, but to each your own, as I would say. Or as Cut LaCoin would say from Star Wars, The Clone Wars. And I'm going to let you guys in already, the next review is going to be on the Phantom. I'm going to be moving into other starships that aren't starfighters. If you didn't see my last review, which will be on the Sith TIE Fighter, or the TIE Dagger as I would prefer to call it. That was the last review I did. We're moving into shuttles and other capital ships. There's a total of 9 total after this. And I'm also going to be throwing in my Mandalorian army and my First Order / Final Order armies as well the week of the Grand Review. So I believe that's it. I believe that'll be all for now. And all that's it for me to remind you that Jesus loves you more than Elmo and Barney. I'll see you guys next time.